Right, out the front today, going to do a little mini reno on the TifTuf. Now, it doesn't really need a reno at the moment, but I'm basically doing this so you guys know how to do a renovation on your own lawn, because this is only like 6 months old, so it doesn't really need to be renoed. But hey, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more level with some sand, so we're going to do that. Real Solutions sent me a little core aerator. I used it a second ago. Not bad, boy. Anyway, let's do it. We're gonna get a scalp on first and we'll go from there. Yo mate, what up? Welcome to another lawn tip vid. Hey. Right, so renovation on the TifTuf today. So the reason we like to do renovation on our lawns is basically to help to relieve some compaction and allow some new growth and shoots to come through on your lawn. So a core aerate is going to relieve that compaction. Doing a top dress is going to get some soil down to those core holes and allow for some better drainage as well. And the reason we're going to scalp it is just so it's an easier process, and normally you get a bit of thatch as well in your warm season grasses, so your cooch, Kikuyu, even buffalo can get quite thatchy. You just got to be careful with buff when you're scalping that bad boy. But doing a scalp is going to pull out some thatch. Now today I don't need to pull any thatch out, so I'm not really going to do a very heavy scalp. If you had really bad spongy thatch, then I would actually recommend doing something like a scarify on your lawn as well. But doing a scalp is just going to get rid of the thatch in the top layer of your soil, because you get rhizomes and stolons in a lot of warm season grasses. So your rhizomes are the underground runners and your stolons are on top. So doing a scalp is going to help get rid of that stuff in the top. So when you scalp, you can basically go down nearly to dirt with cooch and Kikuyu. Like, you can go absolutely nuts. With buffalo, don't go that far down. I recommend you go about 15 to 20 mil when you're scalping. And then when it comes to using a scarifier, that's going to get the thatch under the soil. So there's always a little bit of a thatch layer under the soil. Now, thatch is basically just dead organic matter that's built up over time from grass clippings that haven't broken down, or also, you know, your rhizomes and your stolons just haven't decomposed properly when they've cycled through their life cycle. That makes sense? Cycled through their life cycle, yeah. So a scarifier has basically got quite a few blades on it, and you can hire them out at Kennards and Coates, you know, whatever high place you've got near you, and it's just going to help pull that dead stuff out of the below the soil surface layer. It's the best way to explain it. But I won't be doing that today because this lawn is not thatchy at all, because it's so new. And also, make sure you do not scarify a buff lawn. I really do recommend you don't do this unless your temperatures are reaching about 36 degrees when you add like your morning temps and your night temps. So say if you had 10 degrees in the morning, 26 degrees, you know, as your top, that's when it's time to do a renovation on your warm season grass. Now we're not getting quite those temps yet. Towards the end of the week, actually getting very close to that, so it's all right. But the only reason I'm doing this now is because I'm going away to the States in a couple of weeks, so I won't get time to renovate it then. So we're gonna do it now. Have some fun. And it's working up quite a bit. Like, this is pretty dang green, and all I've applied this season is my special mix, so it's not going too bad. As you can see, all the Kikuyu's starting to slowly wake up across the street, but it's still a little bit behind, but you know what? I'm just gonna risk it. Right, so I'm gonna set this down the lowest setting on this mower, give it a scalp. Now, it's not gonna scalp it too much because I've already got this lawn pretty low. I don't have a couple of spots of scalping. If you find you need to go a little bit lower, if you're trying to get a really low height of cut, I recommend you use a cylinder mower or something. Give it a clean up with this first though, to get rid of a lot of it, and then go with the cylinder mower after that as well. Make sure you bag your clippings because it's going to make a little bit of a mess. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, that was pretty easy. Only because I had it like only up one setting from that before, but yeah, normally a scalp's a bit harder than that. I would go a little bit lower with a cylinder mower, but again, I don't really have any thatch issues in this yet, so I'm not going to go crazy. But if you do, if your lawn's a couple of years old and it's established, scalp it down so you get to dirt nearly, but I'm not even going to worry about it today. If I was trying to go a bit lower, I would get the cylinder mower out and do it, because that's not quite low enough to get to dirt, obviously, because you can't see dirt. Next step in the renovation process is get your core aeration done. Now, I highly recommend you don't get those shoes and core aerate your lawn like that, because they're not going to make basically any difference at all. Plus, they're not pulling any cores out as well. It's more of a solid tine, which means it's sort of just pushing your soil down, and you know, it's not the best way to do it. You can hire out core aerators. I'm not going to worry about it in this tiny little area, hiring out a machine for a day just for 50 square meters, like it's not worth it. So luckily Real Solutions sent me this, so I'll link them down in the description below where you can buy one of these. Now people have been going on about the price of these. I'll tell you what, if I was to make one myself, it would be nearly not this good, and this thing is flipping heavy, I tell you what, as well. I mean, you know what, it's nice to support small business as well, so I'm happy to support these guys. But they did send this to me for free, but I really do appreciate them sending me this, and I was going to buy one anyway. But yeah, let's give it a crack. Let's see how it works. Oh dear, flip, that's actually does a good job. That's pulling out some decent cores, I tell you what. Not bad at all. Really good. Now I've hired out core aerators from Bunnings, not Bunnings, Kennards, and they don't pull a core out that clean. Now I'll tell you what, this is a lot of physical labour, like it's going to be hard. And it's going to take a while, but it's all good. Be good for me. I'm already puffing, unfit as. But yeah, make sure you space them apart. I'd say only 1 to 2 inches apart. Don't go too far apart. I'm only going to go one direction because we're going to be so precise with this. If you're using one of the motorized ones, I'd definitely go 2 directions because they leave quite a big gap and they don't go quite as deep as well. But yeah, that's going to do the job well for us. Tell you what.
I'm not
Anyway,
gonna
let's keep
be
going.
there for you, 'cause you were never there for me. Don't go ask me what you did wrong. Ignorance will never see. No, wasn't it for me? Why don't you just let it be? I gave you 1, 2, and 3 times, not wasting my good. 'Cause you're not on your knees. Wasn't it for me?
Okay, that is all done. Glad that's over. I got a little bit lazy towards the end and spaced out the cores a little bit more because, again, it doesn't need to be core aerated, so it's just to show you guys. But yeah, let's clean it up now. I'll show you guys what it's like cleaning up with a rotary. Normally it's a little bit easy just to use the back of a rake or something to clean it up. So let's try rotary first and then we'll do the rake version for you. Alright, so let's put this mower onto this lowest setting and see if it picks up these cores. I'll do 2 passes and just see how it goes. That was dusty. Tell you what though, it worked really well. Check this out. Pick most of it up. I'm just going to do that. Heaps easy. I'll have to empty the catcher a few times, but lad, look at that. That's really good. Awesome stuff. I was just going to use a rake. I'd obviously just rake it up into piles and then, you know, get rid of the dirt that way, but this way is easy. Nice and quick. Tell you what, very impressed with that. Dusty, but very, very impressed. Look at that. It's all just turned to dust. Dusty dust. With some lawn clippings in there as well. Good stuff. What a beast. Right, so now that we've done our core aeration, next, if you had quite a lot of thatch and your lawn was quite spongy, with say your cooch or Kikuyu, I would recommend you bring in a scarifier and bring out that below ground thatch instead of just doing a scalp. But today, it's not that thatchy, so I'm not even going to worry about doing it because I'd probably tear the lawn up way too much because this is not established enough. Normally about 1 season after having some grass after going through a summer, or you know, even 2 seasons afterwards, you can think about dethatching your lawn. But not going to worry about it now. So next thing to do is to do a top dress. So we're just going to use some sand today, and we're basically going to put down a light top dress because it isn't too not really that uneven, and haven't got much sand either. But yeah, the sand's basically going to drop down to the holes and just level out the top a little bit as well. So this is the sand we've got today. This is just some USGA sand, 9010. It's washed so we don't have any weed seeds in it. This is the remainder from Josh's house that we used the other day. It's all the stuff that was left. So look at this, there's still sticks in the back of this truck. Silly boy. Pine cones. But yeah, we're just going to use this. There's only a couple of wheelbarrows full in here. I think it's probably only about, maybe even 1/4 of a metre. Not much at all. But that's all we're going to need for this area over here.
one thing they will promise, they're building you a throne. If only you had seen, they won't leave.
Righty, so back to the old flick and go technique with the shovel. So make sure you get yourself, you know, a bit of a shovelful. Make sure 1 foot is firmly planted on the ground, and basically we're just going to come across and flick out that. Only really lightly today, probably going to go, like I'll show you how low we're going to go. But yeah, it's all in the technique, and that's all there is to it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And if you go a bit thick, you can always, you know, move it around a bit like that as well, that's fine.
You're drinking dirty water from the dirty well. Don't believe the glitter, he's got plenty of things to sell. Now one thing to...
So now we're just going to use this lawn level to level out those areas. So I highly recommend you get one of these if you can. You can buy them down at Bunnings, I sell them on my website. I think even higher places hire them out, I'm not 100% sure. But this one's an L1 from the golf course, which we used at Josh's house the other day. But yeah, good little tool just to make those little hollows and stuff, get some sand actually drop down into them, and it'll sort of push it away from the high spots as well. Like, I'll quickly give you a demo. Look at that. Just helps push the sand down to the canopy, and you can see where there's, I'll show you afterwards, where there's some spots that, you know, where it's low, there's a bit more thicker sand in. It sort of helps it drop into those core holes as well on top of that. But yeah, it's the thing to do. If you can't source one of these, use the back of a rake. It's still going to do a decent job, or even a brush, just to get it to brush down into the canopy of the turf. So below the leaf surface, down more towards the soil. Alright, all done. So you can definitely see where there's some low spots. Like you can see there's thicker bits of sand through like that area just there, for example. Up around that telephone pole, no, light pole. Give a squeeze through here, quite a few low spots. So I didn't rub that in properly. There we go, low spot there. Low spots all throughout here. These are all low here, so that's why these lawn levels are awesome, because they're going to show out those low spots in your lawn, which I had no idea there's that many low spots. Like, really does help out. Now, I would actually probably go a little bit thicker than this with Cooch or Kikuyu. Well, this is TifTuf here, which is Cooch, just because it can handle it. Like, you could cover that completely, not have any leaf blades popping out. I recommend you have a couple popping out though, but I'd pop out as many as you can, you know, just to be safe. But you can go really thick and it will come back pretty dang well, which is crazy. But yeah, that's all the sand I had today, and I don't really need to do a reno, so I'm not too worried now. There's still a few holes here and there. Once I give it a few waters, the sand will actually settle a bit and drop into those holes as well. But yeah, if you have some open holes and the sand doesn't fill in those areas, they'll eventually close over anyway. So last step for me is fertilising this patch here. So I'm going to be using some Inoculate XN today, which has got a bit more nitrogen in it, so it's great for reno time. Usually I use Inoculate Complete, struggling to say that, Inoculate Complete on this lawn just here on a regular program, which has got a bit lower N and a couple of other macros and micronutrients in there as well. Whereas the Inoculate XN is going to help push some growth on this bad boy, because it's got a bit more urea in it, so it's going to go boof and pop that growth through the sand and keep it going. As well as the included wetting agent that's in it still, and the humic acid and the microbes on top of that as well to stimulate some growth in a nice, healthy, biological way. But anyway, yeah, some people like to scalp their lawn and then fertilise it that day and leave it a couple of days until they aerate, and then after they aerate, they like to then top dress like that. So you can really do it in any order you want. It's probably a question I get quite a lot of the time, is what order do I do it in? Well, I'll tell you what, scalp first always. You could then fertilise if you want, or you could go straight to core aeration. Then you could fertilise and leave it a day if you wanted to, or you could even top dress and then fertilise on top. It doesn't really matter. It's fine either way you do it, but yeah, in the end you get the same result in the end, so you should be right. So the rate for this stuff is only 2 kilos per 100 square meters. This is about 50 square meters, so I'm going to put down about a kilo Might do a little bit more, just to kick a bit more growth, because you can go up to 3 kilos per 100 square metres. And then yeah, just need to water it in. Now you don't have to water this stuff in straight away. I could water in tonight if I wanted to, so it's not really a big issue. But yeah, I'll water it in soon afterwards anyway, just get that sand to settle down into the grass and get the reno kicked off and get some growth happening. Done. Last thing, water it in. Be trying this Sumi soaker thing here today on this patch. Just give it a go. Good old Kev, thanks Kev, from Globe gave me this just to try out. Yeah, see how it works I guess. I mean, if anyone wants one, I guess I can put them on the website. I don't know, see how we go. See if I like it first, but basically just hooked it up to the tap, just through, you know, normal hose, and hooked it down here, ran this through here, and then I've just clamped it off up at the end here. There's a little clamp here, so you can have them as long as you want really. Doesn't have to be limited to this size here. But it's basically just, you know, good old soaker hose. But all these holes that are in here are done with a laser, so it's pretty precise. I've never used one, so we're about to find out which way it works, eh? Tell you what, the tap's nearly turned off. That is really good. You probably can't see it from here. I'm getting a better spot so you can see it. Wowzers. That is really good. Pretty much perfect. It's hitting right on the edge there. That's really good actually. So a nice slow soak with the soaker hose there. It'll do it good. And it's basically not even hitting the concrete, so it's really precise, which is good. And I've basically got the tap nearly turned off completely, which is nuts. Yeah, I'm impressed. Alright, well that's going to do it for that video there. Thanks guys so much for watching. Keep your eye on the channel because I will update you guys and tell you how this renovation is going with the TifTuf. And I'm hopefully going to start, once I get back from America, I'm going to turn this into a golf green, put a couple of pins in there, maybe just one, and make basically a little putting green. So I'm going to have some good fun with it, and I'll show you guys how to do that along the way as well. But yeah, thanks guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and you have a good week. It's pretty hard, isn't it? I think you need to be a bit heavier, Louis. You are heavier.
I don't think so. Somewhat.
Oh, I'll show you. See? You have to have Daddy's a little bit fatter than you. See?